All right then. So now all we have to do is understand how the Flexbox will work. I'm just going to delete all these things. Let me delete. And over here also, okay, literally keep the body tag. And here I'm just going to keep it as a row direction itself. Line items, everything needs to be in this. The content. Let me show you and save this change. And here I'm just going to create a boxes, right? And I'm just going to bring a list of boxes in it. I'm just going to create div dot box into, I need minimum three, multiply 3 times. So now inside this box, I'm just going to say boxes, which is going to width, which is going to be the 75% of the parent width, and padding, which is going to be like 20 pixels, and I need a border effect 1 pixels solid, and which is going to be the black color, so you should be able to see the border. I'm going to fix the height, minimum height as 440 pixels, something like that. Then I'm going to bring the box which is going to be so let's say I want to define the width is going to be 200 pixels, and height which is going to be 100 pixels. Then yeah, let's keep it in that way. Then dot box colon nth child of 1n, which means the first child. Let's open it, which is in case it's going to be background color, which is going to be the red color. Okay, now I should be able to see that red color. All right, so then I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to paste it, which is in case um 2n n, and this is going to be green, this is going to be the black. Okay, something like this. So now if I change this into display as a flex, you should be able to see it changed into a row direction. And if I want to keep it in the vertically in the center positions, and you can see sorry, horizontally it is in the center positions, and vertically I can keep it in justified content. See, all right, now if I want to increase the gap between them, I can use this gap property, let's say 20 pixels, so I can increase the gap between them, each and every element. All right, so now let's say instead of fixing this, so I can simply give the flex grow property. I can give the flex grow property as 1, so they will grow, they will stretch out as much as possible, right? So they will grow that options, they will stretch out until as much as possible, so they can understand so I can define the sizes. So let's say I can remove this. Instead of giving it over here, I can remove it. This is going to be flex grow as 1. I can copy, I can paste it over here also. So now you can see still it's stretching out, and I can give it the flex grow as 2 over here. Now we can see the first and last box are a little bit smaller, and the middle box it's a little bit bigger. Okay, so by this way I can adjust the grow positions, how much I want to grow. So let's say if I want to 4, it will stretch out that available spaces. So this helps us to understand how the flex grow and flex that what is it, yeah, how the flex grow will work. Okay, so let's say I don't want to shrink this. Okay, so I don't want to shrink. Flex shrink is going to be 0, so I don't want to shrink this. So this will okay, so you can see wait a minute, let me show you a different example for flex shrink, so you can understand it in an easy way. Okay, so I hope you guys understand the flex grow. Now in order to understand the flex like what to say, um the flex shrink, so how to work with the flex shrink, let's see. um Wait a minute. Okay, so now in order to understand the flux shrink, what I'm going to do is I don't want to flux shrink this second one, and I need to shrink this one, and I need to shrink. All right, so save these changes. Now you can see the difference over here. So if I shrink it, the 1 and 2 will shrink, the 1 and 3 will shrink more, but you can see the middle order, the middle one, it will takes always takes the biggest one. Okay, so the shrink property, it will always shrink proportionally, okay, proportionally to the available width base. That's the reason you can see that the middle one, it's taking that number of shrinking positions. Okay, so it is let's say, let's, if I keep it over here, if I keep it as a 1, and you can see so if you're keeping it as a shrink position as a number 1, then what happens is it will shrink if it is needed, right? If you have something in it, it will not allow the user to shrink it, right? So that's the thing. So if you're keeping a text content in it, so let's try to keep that one. Try to keep a text content in it. See, now it's shrinked. It shrink the rest of the proportion is completely shrinked. And even if I am stretching it out, see, it is not going to shrink beyond that. Okay, the reason is because of the shrink property. Okay, so the two of them outside of these two elements, see, if I didn't give this 0 positions, if I didn't set the flux shrink as the 1, what is happening? It is completely stretching out based on the content. If I say flex for shrink, it should shrink mostly to the number 2. It is not going to move beyond that, right? So the flex shrink is always based on the content. It's always proportional to the content. Okay, so that's how the flex shrinks and the flex and everything will work. Okay, so the flex grow, mostly we use the flex grow property. The flex grow property will always stretch the content throughout the available space. I didn't set the height of the box over here. Okay, so flex grow. Okay, so now if I remove content inside over here, now you can see, so this is all about the flex options and everything. So let's say if I want to keep it number 2 also, I can make it a little bit bigger. So this is how the flex grow and flex and everything will work. So if I want to change these directions into columns directions, all I have to do is to flex column, flex direction into column. Okay, so for that I need to use the width as the, just need to say flex width going to be the 100%. Okay, so that is all about the flex directions, so that you can understand how does the flex everything is working. Okay, so this is all about the flex. And the next most important thing is, if you want to learn much more information about Flexbox, you just need to go to the CSS Tricks Flexbox. They give you the complete guide on each and every property. What is the display, and what the flex directions, flex wrap option, flex flow option. So you can specify each and every options over there. You can learn much more about the Flexbox over. So this is just about the overview of the Flexbox, right? So now let's move on to the next most important sections, which is going to be your grid box, and that is what we are going to understand.